Hey, this is Anney.
And Samantha.
And welcome to Stuff Mom Never Told You, a production of iHeartRadio. For today's Monday Mini, we're talking about how to survive quarantine as an extrovert. And we
Hashtag check on your extroverts.
Yes. And we actually just recorded a full episode that you'll hear later this week on extroverts and introverts and what does that actually mean and what does it look like for women. So be on the lookout for that. And in that we said, and it's worth restating, obviously this is not an ideal situation for anybody. Being in a pandemic, there's a lot of anxiety around.
Right.
But even I, an extrovert, have gotten some chuckles out of the GIFs I've seen introverts posting about like the cat watching at the window as everyone's like panicking. Yeah, I see it. It's okay. It's okay.
Right.
And you, Samantha, well, you were pretty confident you're an introvert, but after doing the research...
Yeah. I mean, even after the research, I am absolutely an introvert with some, I think, when we talk about ambivert personality types, I can rise to the occasion. So I can be sociable if I need to be.
Mm-hmm.
But it takes a lot out of me and I have to step back. There's nothing better to me than sitting at home on Friday night without people, just my soft pants, my dog, and probably binging some kind of series, whether I'm doing the Marvels, series or Harry Potter, which, by the way, I did that last night, Lord of the Rings. Yeah, it sounds really nerdy, doesn't it? Or maybe I'm doing Parks and Rec or 30 Rock. It's something that I have to do, but I would rather do it alone, where I can at least talk to myself without judgment.
But what about our Star Wars watch party? I have to be there.
I just want to, everybody needs to know there's a plot going behind my back, and I know it is.
Now the holiday special is a part of it, so you're in a...
Oh, hell no. I've already, I didn't know anything about it when you first mentioned it to me, and all you said was, tell so-and-so, they'll know what this means. Yes. And I was like, what? And then they were like, oh my God, and then moved, and I was just, my eyes glassed over, and I was like, I don't know what just happened. I did something bad.
No, that actually is a really good segue kind of into what we're talking about, because the reason I said that is because the holiday special is infamously horrible and it's infamously worse than I could ever express. And so this person was asking, how are you doing? And I was like, well, I'm watching the holiday special sober for the second time. So that should tell. And I knew that wouldn't make any sense to you. So that's why I asked.
It's true.
I was like, ask someone who knows Star Wars.
Oh, they were so excited. They were so excited. And they were like, I was like, no, y'all are friends. Text her. I don't care about this.
You will.
But yes, this is absolutely both the fact that you are stuck inside the house.
Yes.
Are a giant lovable nerd, and I love you for it.
Oh, thanks.
As well as the fact that you are an extrovert trying to figure out life.
This has been such a learning experience for me already. Okay, so before if I talk about my more personal take about what's happening to me. So a lot of you probably know, but basically an introvert is someone who recharges, gets their energy from inside, internally, and an extrovert is someone who does that with external stimuli. So an extrovert is usually somebody who's energized by being around other people. Typically, they're seen as friendly, outgoing, the social butterfly, life of the party. When our bigger episode about all of this comes out, we'll get more into it because that's not always the case, but a lot of times. Their brain chemistry is less sensitive to dopamine, or that's what some of the science suggests. So
or lemon juice.
Or lemon juice. Well, yeah, the lemon juice study. So they need more stimulation when compared to introverts. And this doesn't have to be through people. That's actually something that's kind of new to me. It can be through novel experiences and accomplishing goals. And that's when I was like, oh, yeah, okay, I am an extrovert for sure then. For sure.
And with that, again, extroverts rely on external stimuli for their energy. So they need something beyond themselves to get that energy and that motivation, I guess, and talking things out with others and social interaction. Not having that can be what I see as stressful for extroverts. So, the social distancing has me worried a little bit for you, dear Anney, who is, again, absolutely an extrovert. And we've seen, again, with this quarantine life, it kind of has caused some sluggishness and depression for some extroverts, which is where the hashtag check on your extroverts came in. And believe me, Anney was one of the first people. I was like, oh no, let me see. You okay? How are you doing? Do you need things? I think I even was like, hey, do you want to move in with me and quarantine with me? We can do that.
We become one single household, the Sminty household.
I mean, mine as well. I mean, we're halfway there, right?
We are.
No. So yeah, I had to ask, are you okay? And Anney, are you okay?
Are you okay, Anney? So I was trying to think of a way to describe what it feels like. It feels like I totally see the sluggishness and it just feels like something has been cut off and it's not there. And it was an important part, like I needed it to function. And it's almost like disassociating. It's weird. I don't know,
So it's a phantom loss of something.
It feels like something is missing, and not in the sense of because clearly something is missing.
Right.
But inside me, something is missing. And it's like, it makes me anxious, and it makes me want to just scream into a pillow, all the time. And sometimes it makes me super goofy, and then other times it makes me just lie on the floor and stare. But that's one of the things, though. Like we said, this is not a great situation for anybody. So it's hard to say how much of that is, oh, I'm an extrovert, I've been cut off. Right. And how much of it is, oh, we're in a pandemic and it's scary right now.
Well, and I think the other part of that for you, as where I know many of extroverts, I have a lot of extroverted friends, but they either have roommates or partners. And, or even for me, my situation, I have great neighbors. So I can actually go out on my patio and have a conversation with 4 or 5 people that I know pretty well. As where you are stuck in a place that steals your food.
My roommates have been known to steal my food, yes. I don't think they would do that now. I would hope not.
Your neighbors. The neighbors steal your food.
Oh, yeah, sorry. I have no roommates. Yes, but see, this is what's going on.
I'm like, Ruby, your bee pillow is not real, right? Do we need to have a check-in?
Don't take that away from me. Yeah, and I really don't mind being alone. And I'm pretty good at filling my day most of the time, but I have realized my sleeping problem is off the charts now. It was bad before. Oh my God. And learning that you don't necessarily need people. That is a key part of it, and it's where you can get a lot of that kind of fulfillment and energy recharging. But I found some articles describing, but there are other ways. There are other ways you can get this. And we've all heard some of them, right?
Right. And I would say, how many times do people check in with you throughout the day?
A lot. I've never gotten this many texts in my life.
So the thing is, people know you well enough that this is something that we recognize, and therefore we will be your support group, whether it's me telling you to get on house party and we play ridiculous trivia games, or me doing Marco Polo with you just to make sure your face is okay. Literally that's what other people are doing. And then I've definitely asked, hey, are you busy? And you're like, well, I have these following conference plans / hangouts. And I'm like, well, damn. Okay.
Yeah, it's really funny because I know I've told this story on other podcasts, but right before this, my therapist gave me a thing to try to achieve. She said, I want you to stay home at least once a week. And now
so
I'm like, wow. Now this is going to be an interesting experiment. But somehow, like, I have still managed on Friday. I had four hangouts, four different groups. Like, it's like I'm still going out in some way, it feels like. So there are things like that. It's just funny, like I'm still finding a way to not do what my therapist said.
Well, so you were just talking about the fact that there are many advice on what extroverts can do at this point in time. So let me ask you, because I will tell you, I am a textbook introvert with some social understanding. We'll label me as that. What do you suggest for other extroverts? What are some tips?
So, exercise is a good one. Any kind of new type of exercise. Dancing is great. We've been doing our little cardio jams. We have some yoga forthcoming.
Right. I was going to say, if you haven't checked out our Instagram TV in which we are trying to... I will say those videos make me sad because I am so out of breath within 30 seconds. That is unreal. And I'm like, yeah, it's been 2 weeks, but it feels like 3 years since I've exercised.
But they're fun.
They are fun.
So finding kind of new physical things you can do or trying new recipes. And when I saw that was a suggestion, it's one of the times where I knew, I really am an extrovert because I love trying new recipes while I listen to new music. I feel like it's such a treat. Oh my God. I used to do it every Sunday.
Oh, really? See, I hate listening to new music. I have to, I'm so caught up in my old playlist and I need it. Let me try that again. I don't hate it necessarily, but it feels like a chore because I am someone who likes habit and pattern.
Oh, see, I have my songs I listen to way too much until I get tired of them. But then on Sundays, I would take like hours and I would just listen to new music while I was cooking a new thing. And I love it. Interactive stories. So you can get that through books. I know there are some video games that are really good. Interactive stories where you're sort of communicating, interacting with other people. I know Animal Crossing is huge right now.
I don't understand.
Well, it seems to be helping a lot of people. So for that, I applaud it. So things like that. If you can just find new experiences in whatever space you are in, that's been really, really helpful for me. And then also, like check in on your extroverts, but also if you're an extrovert, check in. Reach out if you need help, but also check in on your friends too.
Right. So I need to ask, what was the newest recipe that you have made or created?
Oh, what was it? God, that feels like forever ago. Oh, I made Harley Quinn sandwich. From Birds of Prey. Okay, eggs, bacon. The hot sauce makes it, I gotta say. It's so good.
Oh, so this household is loving chili crisps like nobody's business. So that's one of our things. And video games that you are caught up in today.
Oh, so I just finished Plague because of course I did. So now I think I'm going to move on. I actually had a poll on Twitter and Zelda Breath of the Wild won. So I think I'm going to do that. But I have been playing a lot of Nintendo Switch with friends too. That's been fun.
Okay.
Yes.
I was going to say, so my friend does, I think that he still does, love Zelda Breath of the Wild. And it is pretty. Also, I just love yelling every time he dies.
Because you're a great friend.
I am. I'm not going to lie. He's also playing Red Dead Redemption 2 right now.
Oh, yeah. I have that one too. Yeah.
In which a mountain lion mauled him. Oh. And I kept saying I'm rooting for the animals. Just saying.
You know, that's fair. You've got to get your enjoyment where you can as well.
I mean, there's a conversation that we're having about the fact that we might try to do a Twitch or some kind of video of him introducing me to games and me trying to play it. Mm-hmm. But for those who are newer to this, or I am a novice at video games in general, to the point that they make me mad. Because I'm so bad at them. I am so bad at them that I am that person that takes the remote control. Oh, no, I'm sorry. What is it?
Controller? What are you talking about?
Okay, sure. Controller. What's in my hand? You see me? Hand thing. See, this is how good I am.
The hand thing, yeah.
That my whole body moves while I'm screaming at the screen going, no! Oh my God! No! the entire time.
Mm-hmm.
So not only am I bad at it and do I immediately die, the anxiety and the physical pain that I go through in trying to successfully win at something, which I never do, is the worst. So we were like, yeah, this could be entertaining for other people who want to watch people suffer and hate things.
Don't saying. So many of us want that.
Yeah. And I know our fellow podcasters at the Daily Zeitgeist, I don't know if you know, Miles is talking about Portal.
Yeah.
And all I want to scream is, screw Gladys. She's the worst. And why?
I love her.
I hate that game. She's too sassy. Like I'm going to fight her. Like I think I would fight her.
No, she's the best. The cake is a lie. Always remember. So yeah, there are things that you can do, and we talk about this more in our upcoming episode about introverts and extroverts. But neither is better. Both are good, and we need each other. So
right. As you can see, as Anney the extrovert and Samantha the introvert coming together to make sure each other are okay.
Yes. And listeners, we would love to know that you are okay. And
please.
Yes. And we would love any tips that you have for getting through this quarantine. And you can send those to our email at stuffmediamomstuff@iheartmedia.com, or you can find us on Twitter at momstuffpodcast or on Instagram at stuffmomnevertoldyou. Thanks as always to our super producers, Andrew Howard and JJ Posway. And thanks to you for listening. Stuff Mom Never Told You is a production of iHeartRadio. For more podcasts from iHeartRadio, visit the iHeartRadio app, Apple Podcasts, or wherever you listen to your favorite shows.